Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to the channel. It is your local problematic Leo, and today we finally get to take a look at Dante Unbound. But before we jump into any of that, we do have a little bit of housekeeping to do. First and foremost, it is anniversary season for DE. I think it's 11 years now. So if you log into game, you'll actually get access to the Dex Nikana as well as a glyph? Question mark? I don't know. It was some sort of artsy thing that I found in my inbox, but that will automatically come to you. Next up, you'll actually see what I have on screen. For Dante Unbound, they of course have the platinum packs that you can always, not the platinum packs, but the pack of the bundle of Dante and his stuff that is included in game. I think it's like 750 plat, something around there. But there's also a version of that that is $14.99. However, it does include the Dante's Tonatiuh sigil as well as the Dante's Delight glyph. Now, weirdly, if you look at it in game, it does not include the Tonatiuh's Paragram. And even stranger, if I go into the game and look at the items that I own, it doesn't mark it off for me, but it is included in the bundle and it is like definitely in my orbiter right now. So if you wanted to pick this up for cold hard cash, which is like 14 bucks, you can do it that way and you'll get all of the items. If you do it with the plat, I don't think you get the Dante's Delight glyph or the Tonatiuh sigil. And I looked it up in like the search bar, could not find it in there. So I think that these might be exclusive in the pay cash bundle. So keep that in mind. And last but not least, before we dig into anything, yes, I do have a nose tampon in. I've had on and off nosebleeds this morning. So I'm not going to take a risk of getting blood everywhere and having to stop the recording. So you're just going to have to bear with me. Now, before we actually get into the in-game portion, I did want to go ahead and take a look at some of the new augment mods, which I'm very, very excited at. I haven't actually gotten to see everything on this list, so it'll be a live reaction. Hopefully you guys will feel the same feelings that I feel. But let's start off with Elusive Retribution, which is with Baruch and Elude. Every attack Baruch eludes increases the melee attack speed and melee critical damage by up to 5% up to 6 stacks. Stacks last 6 seconds. Oh, okay. That's not too bad. Not too bad at all. I don't know if I want to like leave a slot for that, but it might also synergize well with his ultimate. Guardian Armor. Chroma's, this is the Vex, oh, this is a Vex armor, oh man, okay. Chroma's health takes 50% of the damage dealt to allies within affinity range. Squad kills restore 5% of his health over 3 seconds and increases Vex armor's duration by 1. Interesting. Okay, it's one of those ones where it kind of like turns into, what is it, Valkyr's like eternal war cry kind of thing. That's really interesting, and I'm assuming 50% of health damage dealt to allies might synergize well with oh my god, it's been so long since I've had to remember mod augment names, but the one that converts health into energy, I might like that. Recrystallize, Citrine is crystallized. Enemies killed by Citrine growth stagger and spread crystals to enemies within 16 meters. Okay, that might be fun too. Wrath of Ukko, Kalervo, Storm of Ukko. Wrathful Advance moves the Storm of Daggers to the teleportation location and increases its duration by 6 seconds. I don't know. I don't know how I feel, but we'll see. Valence Formation, Lavos. I like me some Lavos. Let me know if you guys are... I don't love his visual design, but I like his gameplay. He's really weird, and I'm into it. So, upon ability cast, applies the ability element as 200% elemental damage to your weapons with guaranteed status for 20 seconds. We'll see. I don't know how I feel about that, but maybe. That might be awesome. Damage Decoy, you guys know this is going to be the new one for me. I'm going to try this one out in game, and we'll see if I like get off on it. Decoy can be cast on enemies. Enemies who attack the decoy receive 5 random status effects, and the reflected damage is increased by 350%. Ooh. Listen, I don't know what my build's gonna look like with that now because I don't have any power strength on him, and I did have some negative power strength on him, but I'm gonna have to shimmy it around, and I'm probably gonna shove some crystals in his butt just to make it work. The next one's actually pretty sexy too. Divine Retribution, Nizaha. Divine Spears. When a speared enemy suffers from a status effect, the status effect spreads to all speared enemies. Speared explosions apply 1.5 times status damage. This is just basically an STD on crack. Let's move on to Parasitic Vitality, which doesn't sound any better. Nidus and any ally he's bound to gain 4% max health per mutation during Parasitic Link. Ooh, you gonna be a big boy. Okay, but you gotta stay within the realms. I wonder if it's only during the stacks you gain while you're linked to them, or if it's like your stacks in general. Because that's gonna be two very different things. Because if you build up your stacks and then you Parasitic Link and it's just full on, ooh, that's gonna be quite engorged. All right, let's move on to Axios Javelineers. A pair of Styanax's Spectres spawn to throw javelins, creating vortexes on impact, impale an enemy to increase vortex duration by 5 seconds. I feel like you're just making copies of yourself, but I guess when you have a sexy new skin, that's what you want to do, right? We have Warrior's Rest. This is the Excalibur Umbra passive. I find this one to be very fascinating. Umbra's ability strength increases by 15%, but he no longer fights independently alongside his operator. This is very similar to like Ironclad Flights and the like anti-slide for I think Ninja and the anti-float for Zephyr. Kind of into it. I want to see if it goes into an Exila slot, because if it does, that might feel sexy. And then last but not least, the one we have all been waiting for, of course, it is Loyal Merulina. You can no longer ride Merulina. Instead, she follows and casts sea snares on nearby enemies, 2-second cooldown. That's a win. That's a win. No forced cage ride. You still have the defensive capabilities, and you get bonus sea snares. God damn it. Okay, I am excited. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump into game. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not actually sure where I left the game, so it might be precarious. Oh, we are in the buying screen. Okay, what is this? Let's get rid of that. So as you can see here, this is what I was talking about a little bit earlier with the, not Dante, there's a bundle, the Dante collection. So it is 750, but you don't get any of the glyph and the sigil. I don't know what they're called. You know, the things that you put on the things, but you do get the Tonatiuh's Paragram. Earlier, it was not showing that I had it, but it is now showing that I have it, which is very, very, very strange. There's also a couple new weapons that I also picked up. Of course, the Onos comes in the bundle. No, the Ruvox comes in the bundle, and then the Onos, which I'm kind of excited about because it's an arm cannon. I don't feel like we've had an arm cannon in a while, but I will have to play with that in game. I love how big it looks. It's just a chunky one. And I think that this might actually be the, what is it called? The one that changes into other things that has silvery things on it. You know what I mean. God, it's been so long. There's also another bundle that has come up, and we'll take a look at that real quick as well. It is going to be, this one's a little minor, but I did end up picking it up. It is the Inaros Eternal bundle. You'll get the Sands of Mars Ephemeral. We'll show that. The Sarcophagus Decoration and the King Inaros Glyph. I just got the whole thing because, I don't know, I felt like it. So let's go ahead, since I have Dante loaded up. I will say one thing about Dante. Initially, I hate how it feels being behind him, right? It's like a lump. You just kind of get a lump, and I'm not into it, but I am into the way that he looks. Oh, sweet Jesus. So I did do some slight tweaking. I actually do like his base colors quite a bit. I think he looks pretty nice. Just without, but I wanted to tweak them up just a little. I wanted to add a little red. I wanted to add a little fieriness, you know what I mean? This is him with the armor set, which I'm gonna be honest with you, I almost feel like if you're gonna get Dante, you kind of need the armor set, because this looks a little bland. This looks a little boring, and I'm not super into it. But you add on the customizations, and okay, now we're feeling rich, we're feeling luxurious. DE did a decent job with the way the fabric hangs. I don't like how it necessarily hangs as much on the front, but the sides and that Sayandana, oh, is looking very, very nice. So I'm definitely signing off on that one. I do want to try him out real quick with the Caliban Noble. Okay. He's getting a little sassy. I kind of like him with the Caliban Noble. Listen, the only good thing that came from Caliban was that Noble. But anyway, let's take a look at his abilities real fast. I'm sure you guys already kind of know it, so we'll breeze by. So Tonatiuh, of course, is going to be his Exalted Tome. The interesting thing about this that I really, really like, if you look at it, the primary fire is slash damage. The primary fire on this is slash. I'm sure he's going to have a decent amount of status because the passive on it is Tonatiuh scans targets recording information in your codex. Status chance increases by 50% on fully scanned targets. So now you're getting high slash status, which is going to be pretty sexy. And then the alternate fire is a big chunk of radiation damage. So I'm into it. Now, we have his two verses, the light verse and the dark verse. The light is going to be a composition that grants overguard and increases their health. So it's just a health buff and overguard. And there's a chunky amount of overguard that you can end up stacking. So that is definitely nice. You've got a good radius on it with 20 meters. Not the greatest, but I mean, it's a base. It's a base. Moving on to dark verse. They draw blood from enemies, inflicting slash damage upon them. So there's a lot of slash. But you know what? It kind of fulfills that fantasy of like using book pages to like cut enemies. It's like you're paper cutting enemies to death. And for anybody who does not understand how visceral that is, you have not watched Everything Everywhere All at Once with the 4 paper cuts in between the fingers. Oh my God, that scene, everybody was wincing. I'm going to tell you right now. So to have it as an ability to deliver paper cuts is kind of awesome. And it's a 50% angle. It's a pretty wide angle. So final verse, of course, is whenever you combine 2 different verses, when you cast the final verse, what'll end up happening is an effect will happen. So if you do 2 light verses, you get a buff that increases health and grants overguard, and kills briefly regenerate overguard. So with that, with 2 dark verses, you can go and have any damage over time that they have suffered accumulates in a single blast, and it looks like it does a big chunk of damage as well to go along with it. We have Word Warden. This one is a little bit weird. I think it is going to be a light verse followed by a dark verse, and it creates copies of Tonatiuh that synchronize their attacks with their designated allies' attacks. So I'm thinking that it's gotta be, you gotta be around the allies to create the additional Tonatiuh, and then they take a percentage of the damage and they deal it to the enemies. And then, last but not least, the one that I'm super excited about is Page Flight, which is going to be a dark verse followed by a light verse. They create paragrams that swoop at enemies, making them vulnerable to status chance and drawing enemy attacks away from allies. So they're decoys, but also they're gonna boost status chance or status damage or whatever they're doing. I don't know what they're doing, but they're gonna do that, which synergize really well with your passive as well as your dark verse. And you get these birds that fly around to kind of aid in some defense. So I'm kind of into it. I'm excited. I'm definitely going to be playing around with him a little bit. Speaking of paragrams, before we jump into the next Warframe, I think I have to show you. Holy crap, where'd my paragram go? He's here. He was here a minute ago. I swear to God, he's here. He is... oh, there he is. So for those of you guys wondering if it is buggy in game and you're like, I'm not sure if I get him, he's there. He doesn't float around, though. He just kind of sits there in that same spot. All right. Now, let's go ahead and look at the big beefy boy, Mr. Styanax. Now, I'm just going to tell you right now, ooh, it looks good. The boy looks good. The boy looks good. I'm going to do something for the people, okay? We're just going to take a walk. I'm not telling you where to look, but I think you know where you should be looking. I'm just saying. We are looking very respectfully, okay? We're looking very respectfully. While I think he suffers a little bit from the contouring that they did on that they did on Excalibur, if you know what I'm saying. Like, it's still a little pancakey, but, you know, they've made sure to accentuate the shape. Let's just say that. So, this is going to be the base look for the Styanax Deluxe skin. I looked at that name and I was like, I'm not gonna try to say it. Is it Tonatiuh? Oh, someone in the comments, you're gonna have to help me out on that one. I do like the base coloration, which is really strange because normally I don't, but I think it's actually quite gorgeous. But this is the base colorization. I did tweak it a little bit. Let's look at the Quandao. So this one is actually going to be a skin that comes along in the bundle along with a Syandana. So that is for pole arms, which of course, you know, works well with him since he's a spearman. So let's go ahead and take a look at the customization that I did. This is just something very slapdash, so keep in mind, it's not final, but you know, it's just a different variation. And I'm kind of super duper into it right now. So we also have the, oh, I'm not going to be able to say this, the, hold on, I have not taken off the embellishments yet. For those of you guys who don't know, there are a couple of embellishments that we have. God, they just really gave us everything, huh? They gave us paper cut fighting. They gave us a nice contoured booty. And they gave us nipple tassels. Oh, I don't know how I feel. I feel like they're looking back at me. Turn around, don't look at me. I feel a little bit better now. The shame. Okay. So, you can take those off if you don't like them. I suggest leaving them on, in my own personal opinion. Let's take a look at the Syandana. It's the Huitzlin Syandana, and I kind of love it because it leaves a little gap in the back where you can see some of, they really did, I actually really like the lighter color on this because they did so much texture work and it's absolutely gorgeous. I really like it. So leaving the back a little bit open, especially because he has that little thingy there, I think is fantastic, and supposedly it does things. Hold on, let's see if I can get it to do things. Do I need to be still? Yes, there you go. There we go. There we go. It looks really, really pretty. Look at that. That's some cool shit right there. And then there's the shield. Oh my god, look at that shield. Why are the feathers red though? Why were the feathers not matching my feathers? Also, look at the color on those feathers. Do you notice how it's like in one light it's kind of like that bluey shade? But in another light, it's kind of like the purpley shade. Oh my god, it's really pretty. I wonder if that works off of, I mean, it looks like it works off of the tertiary color, but like, I don't know, there's some extra oomph in there that I'm super into. It's a really beautiful skin. This is something that I think everybody should go ahead and pick up, like wowza, because I did not like the original Styanax skin, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. But we are here now. Now, the last two things is we're going to go ahead and take a look at those two new weapons. Will I remember what the names are? I remember one started with an R, and another one started with a R. Another one started with it was an arm cannon of sorts. I'm just going to have to do it via sights, and then maybe I can take a look at the stats real quick, and then we can go ahead and see if I remember what it's actually called. They're fists. They're fists. There you go. That works. So we have the Ruvox. These ones are like the coin-based punchy-punchies, and they are incarnate weapons. I didn't just learn that by looking at it over there. But these ones supposedly make coin noises. I usually don't like fisty weapons. I'm going to be completely honest with you. But let's take a look at the base stats on them, at least so we can get an idea of what they're supposed to be like. We've got a pretty high critical chance and a pretty high status chance. However, it is mainly impact. I wonder if they are going to heavy attacks with 6 times or more con won't transform the weapon into incarnate. Okay, it's an incarnate weapon. We know that. Okay, so we're gonna back out of that and we'll take a look at the incarnate buffs on it. So let's see. Heavy Slam attacks impale nearby enemies on void spikes. You might have my attention. You might have my attention. So I think, let's see. It gets 3 range, but the melee attack speed is slowed down, and 100% of impact damage is converted to puncture damage. Got it. So Auric and Reach, you can choose between range or lethal impetuous. On kill, 15% attack speed, 15 seconds, stacks up 2-3 times. Interesting. Is that a third one that we get to choose from? Gathering momentum, gain 5% movement speed per melee combo multiplier. I'm going to ignore that. One of the following: Shockwave synergy for each enemy hit by slam radius, gain 4 combo. Seismic slam, 60% slam radius, or adept reflexes, 15% initial combo. I mean, yeah. One of the following: Swift Transmute, reach 3 times combo and heavy attack to activate Incarnate Form. Okay, so that's a faster transfer over. Ternary Volt, gain +1 mid-air jumps. That might be fun. Inspiring Execution, plus 30% combo count chance on finishers for 20 seconds. And then final, Brutal Efficiency, gain 40% heavy attack efficiency for 20 seconds while impaling 5 or more enemies. Listen, I really like the thought of impaling enemies. Vulnerability Serum, impaled enemies are 35% more chance vulnerable to status chance. And Permanent Perforation. They got some good names on this one. Enemies suffer 5 puncture status while impaled. Fine. Okay. Alright, let's look at that Candy Cannon. Cannon. Arm. Okay, I'm not gonna be if it's not under canon, I'm not gonna know what it is, but I will see it visually. Hopefully. We will see. I'm pretty sure I bought it. Watch, I didn't even buy it. There you go. Onos. So let's take a look at what this baby does. It is gonna be lots of critical chance, lots of stats, also puncture. Huh. Alright, let's see what the Incarnate Form does. This is a little weird, if I'm gonna be honest. Alright, so Incarnate Form headshots make it switch, alternate fire, switching back will expend anywhere in your charge, whatever. Alright, so let's see. Incarnate Form, draw an ambient power, deal deadly. At full power, release a blast of heat. Interesting. Okay, Marksman's Hand, 30% weapon recoil, Rapid Wrath, fire rates. Ooh, Swift Deliverance, projectile speed. We'll see. Extended Volley, increased magazine capacity by 10. Rapid Reinforcement, reload speed, maybe. Hunter's rearmament, not rearment. On kill, 10% chance to replenish 10% ammo. I wonder if the ammo count is pretty low on this. I think it is. It's like 20. Alright, and then Evolution 4, Lethal Lance on kill. 2.5% punch through for 20 seconds. Incarnate Efficiency, headshots build 50% more Incarnate Transmutation Charge. They have a lot of this, like, make it transmute faster. I wonder if it translates in the weapon feeling a little meh until you get into Incarnate. Elemental Excess, 20% status chance, 10% critical negative 10% critical chance. We'll see. And then Sequential Skullbuster. Okay. See, that's when they're coming in with the good names. On consecutive headshots, 30% headshot damage stacks up to 4 times. Impaler's Ferocity. On punch through hit, 10 times damage for 10 seconds stacks up to 10 times. Okay. Oh, they really... Oh, you could just do a lot of... You could do punch through on punch through on punch through, huh? Wait, doesn't this one have like a punch through thing? Hold on. Where is it? Oh, I must be crazy. I thought it did. I'm pretty sure it did. Am I... No, yeah, it does. Lethal Lance. Okay, Lethal Lance into Impaler's Ferocity. Interesting. Devastation Cascade. Hitting enemies in Incarnate Form increases the critical chance and critical damage of the fully charged blast by... I'm going to have to play around with this one because it seems really interesting. I just think that from the visuals that I saw of it, it gets really ugly in Incarnate Form. Anyway, those are the things that interested me. I know that there are some Void skins that are out there and maybe some other things. But those are all of the things that have been on my mind. Let me know if you guys want to see. I'm assuming you're going to want to see all the dress to kills. But let me know if there is anything else that you guys want me to do. I do have a day off today and tomorrow. I have some things that I want to do that are not Warframe related. But let me know how you guys feel down in the comments below. Are you guys excited for this update? Are you team nipple tassel or no nipple tassel? I don't know. Regardless, toss that in the comments below. And as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch your body. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.